Your life can change dramatically when you learn to control four things: your mouth, your mood, your money, and your mind. The words you speak can build or break relationships. Your emotions can either guide you wisely or lead you into chaos. Your finances can be a source of freedom or a prison of debt. And your thoughts can either empower you or destroy you from within. Mastering these four areas, it's not about suppressing who you are. It's about directing your energy toward growth, peace, and success, so that you stop being a prisoner of impulses and start becoming the architect of your destiny. Greatness is not just built in laboratories or lecture halls. It begins in the quiet discipline of controlling your mouth, your mood, your money, and your mind. Think of Albert Einstein, who spoke with humility despite reshaping our understanding of the universe, proving that words can inspire rather than wound. Consider Marie Curie, who endured countless frustrations in her experiments, yet mastered her emotions to pioneer breakthroughs that changed the world. Look at Nikola Tesla, who managed his limited finances with precision to fund his inventions, and Stephen Hawking, who despite physical limitations ruled his mind with unshakable clarity. When you learn to guard your speech, master your emotions, handle your resources wisely, and discipline your thoughts, you carry within you the same power that drove these scientific giants to turn dreams into reality. Number 1, your words create worlds. There is an ancient truth that has echoed through centuries. Life and death are in the power of the tongue. The words you speak are not mere sounds. They are seeds carrying within them the potential to grow into towering trees of hope or poisonous weeds of destruction. Consider Albert Einstein, not just the man of equations, but the man whose simple explanations made complex truths accessible to the world. His words reshaped how humanity understood the universe. He didn't speak to show how intelligent he was. He spoke so others could see more clearly. And when your words aim to illuminate rather than impress, you step into the role of a creator, not a destroyer. In this way, your voice becomes a tool for building bridges, not burning them. We underestimate the impact of a single sentence spoken in the right spirit. A child can carry encouragement for a lifetime because someone once said, "I believe in you." An employee can rise to greatness because a mentor whispered, "You have what it takes." But the opposite is also true. A careless insult can crush a dream before it even takes its first breath. The reason words hold such power is that they bypass the surface and sink directly into the soil of the heart. And once planted, they grow in the direction of their nature, positive or negative. This is why discipline over your speech is not simply politeness. It is responsibility. Every word you release into the world will return to you multiplied in its kind. Einstein once said, "If you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough." This is not just a lesson in communication, it is a lesson in humility. When your words are meant to clarify instead of confuse, you serve others instead of serving your ego. We must ask ourselves before speaking, will this build or will this break? Will this heal or will this harm? A wise person does not speak to be heard. They speak to make a difference, and making a difference often requires less talking and more listening. When we listen deeply, our words carry the weight of understanding, not the emptiness of noise. The great scientists of history didn't only leave behind discoveries. They left behind language that inspired generations to keep exploring. Marika's words, "One never notices what has been done. One can only see what remains to be done," have outlived her physical presence because they carry truth that fuels action. Your words can become timeless in the same way, but only if they are rooted in authenticity and service. Before speaking, imagine your words as stones thrown into a steel lake. What ripples will they cause? Will they disturb the peace or expand it? You have the power to choose. And when you choose to speak with wisdom, encouragement, and clarity, you are not just communicating, you are creating. Remember this. Your words are not echoes, they are architects. Number 2, silence is sometimes the smartest speech. Silence is often misunderstood as weakness, but in truth, it is one of the highest forms of strength. Isaac Newton, perhaps one of the most brilliant minds to ever walk this earth, spent years in quiet observation before presenting his theories. He understood something most people overlook. Silence is not the absence of thought, it is the preparation of thought. In silence, ideas are not rushed, they are refined, just as a seed must remain hidden underground before breaking into light. Wisdom often needs the darkness of quiet to grow. Many speak to be noticed, but the wise remain silent until their words can truly add value. We live in a time where everyone is eager to voice an opinion, often without understanding the full picture. But silence teaches us the power of restraint. When you hold your tongue, you give space for deeper observation. You notice details others miss, and you hear truths buried beneath noise. Newton didn't need to argue about gravity. He let the apple fall and allow the world to witness the truth for itself. Silence has this way of proving what noise cannot. It allows reality to speak louder than our egos ever could. And when reality speaks, it needs no defense. Silence is also a shield. In moments of conflict, your quiet can protect you from words you may later regret. The heat of anger is like steam in a boiling pot. If you lift the lid too soon, it escapes violently. But if you let it cool, you can handle it with care. History remembers those who spoke with precision, not those who shouted the loudest. This is why silence in the wrong moment can be harmful, but silence in the right moment can be life-changing. It's the pause between the notes that makes music beautiful, and in life, it's the pause before speaking that makes wisdom audible. Silence, however, is not about avoiding truth. It's about delivering it in the right way at the right time. Think of it as storing energy. A bow pulled back in stillness is not inactive. It is gathering strength for the arrow to fly farther and truer. Your silence can be this bow, gathering insight and intention before releasing your words. The people you admire most, whether in science, philosophy, or leadership, are often those who choose their words as carefully as a surgeon chooses their tools, because once released, words cannot be taken back. They either heal or they harm. Choose to let your silence sharpen them before they leave your mouth. Number 3. Respond, don't react. Reaction is instinct. Response is wisdom. The difference between the two can determine whether a situation becomes better or worse. Marie Curie spent countless hours in her laboratory facing failures that would have driven many to frustration. But she did not react impulsively to each obstacle. She responded with patience, curiosity, and discipline. This is the art we must learn: to pause before acting, to breathe before deciding, to think before speaking. Reaction is like striking flint without aim. You might create fire, but you might also burn everything around you. Response is choosing where and how to light that flame. When we react, we surrender control to the moment. When we respond, we reclaim it. Consider how in physics forces act and counteract. But the outcome depends on precision, not impulse. In life, emotional forces pull at us constantly. Anger, fear, pride, excitement. If we allow them to push us without direction, we drift like a ship without a rudder. But when we pause, even for a heartbeat, we position ourselves to steer toward the outcome we desire. Mary Curie's discoveries weren't just born from intelligence. They were born from the refusal to let temporary emotions dictate her permanent results. Responding instead of reacting requires awareness. You must learn to notice the gap between stimulus and action and expand that gap. That small pause is where choice lives. Imagine someone insults you. Reaction seeks to retaliate instantly, but response asks, will this serve my long-term peace or only my short-term ego? The greatest breakthroughs in both science and life come from measured thinking, not emotional outbursts. Just as an experiment is repeated to ensure accuracy, your mind must repeat the act of pausing to ensure wisdom. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes. This principle does not mean suppressing emotions. It means mastering them. A river that overflows destroys, but a river guided by channels nourishes everything along its path. Your emotions are energy. Without control, they flood your life with chaos. With control, they become a source of power. Responding allows you to direct that power toward growth, healing, and progress. When you practice this, you notice that problems begin to shrink, opportunities begin to grow, and relationships begin to strengthen. Because in the space between what happens to you and what you choose to do next, you hold the steering wheel of your destiny. Number 4, channel your mood into momentum. Your mood is like the wind. It can push you forward, hold you back, or throw you completely off course. You cannot control when the wind changes, but you can control how you set your sails. Thomas Edison is remembered not for his failures, but for what he turned them into. Thousands of unsuccessful attempts did not sour his mood. They became fuel for persistence. If he had allowed frustration to anger him, the light bulb might never have illuminated the world. Your emotional state is energy, wasted on complaining, and it drains you. Channel it toward action, and it becomes momentum. Most people wait for the right mood to begin, but that is like waiting for a sunny day to sail across the ocean. The truth is, momentum often creates the mood, not the other way around. Even in his toughest moments, Edison kept working, and eventually his actions shaped his emotions. When you take even a small step toward your goal, you tell your mood, "You are not in charge, I am." This shift in control is powerful. You no longer need to wait for inspiration. You create it through movement, and with each movement, the wind of your emotions begins to blow in your favor. Channeling your mood is also about transforming negative energy into productive force. Anger, for example, can destroy relationships or drive revolutions. The difference lies in direction. Frustration can make you quit or push you to improve. Again, the difference lies in choice. Edison didn't label his failed attempts as defeats. He called them steps to success. This reframing turns emotional storms into powerful engines. It doesn't matter if the wind is wild. If you can harness it, you will move faster than those waiting for perfect weather. But here's the key. Momentum is not built in bursts. It's built in rhythms like a pendulum in a clock. Consistency matters more than intensity. Some days you will feel unstoppable. Other days you will feel like quitting. The discipline to keep moving, whether in giant leaps or small steps, creates a momentum that your moods eventually must follow. When your emotions see that you are committed, no matter how they fluctuate, they begin to align with your action. And when mood and momentum move together, nothing can keep you from reaching your destination. Number 5, detach to see clearly. Clarity is rarely found in the heat of emotion. It emerges when you step back and create distance. Stephen Hawking, despite facing immense physical challenges, maintained an extraordinary ability to detach from personal struggle and focus on the vast questions of the universe. Detachment does not mean you stop caring. It means you stop being consumed. When you are too close to a problem, your emotions can blur your vision. Just as fog hides a mountain peak, by stepping back you see the entire landscape. You begin to notice patterns, possibilities, and paths you could not see when you were tangled in the moment. In science, observation requires distance. A biologist studies behavior by watching without interfering, and an astronomer sees the stars more clearly through a telescope far removed from the Earth's atmosphere. Life works the same way. If you remain tangled in the noise of your own mind, the truth stays hidden. Detachment creates the mental space to ask, what is really happening here? What am I missing? Stephen Hawking's genius was not just in his equations. It was in his ability to rise above immediate limitations and keep his vision fixed on what truly mattered. The problem with staying attached to an emotion or situation is that it controls you. Anger can make you blind to reason. Excitement can make you reckless, and fear can make you see dangers that do not exist. Detachment acts Like a filter, it removes the haze so the light of logic can pass through. This doesn't mean ignoring your feelings. It means observing them without letting them dictate your next move. You become the driver instead of the passenger, steering your life with intention rather than impulse. Detachment is also the key to long-term peace. When you can look at success without becoming arrogant and at failure without becoming hopeless, you develop emotional balance. This balance keeps you steady through the highs and lows of life. Stephen Hawking once said, "However difficult life may seem, there is always something you can do and succeed at." Such a mindset is only possible when you detach from the chaos of the moment and focus on the possibilities ahead. And when you live with this clarity, you stop reacting to every wave. You start navigating the ocean. Number 6, master your financial emotions. Money itself is neutral. It is neither good nor bad. It is our emotions around money that give it power over us. Nikola Tesla, one of history's greatest inventors, was a man of unmatched vision, yet his lack of financial control often left him struggling to fund his work. His story is a reminder that brilliance without balance can lead to frustration. Many people think the biggest danger in money is losing it, but the truth is the biggest danger is letting emotions dictate how we use it. Fear can make you hoard, impulse can make you waste, greed can make you blind. Wisdom with money begins when emotions no longer pull the strings. We must understand that money responds to discipline, not moods. If your spending and saving habits change every time your feelings do, you are building your financial life on shifting sand. Emotions love instant gratification. Logic loves long-term security. This is why you must learn to pause before making any financial decision. The same way we spoke about responding instead of reacting in life, you must respond instead of react in money. A sudden sale, a tempting purchase, a risky investment. These are tests of your emotional control. If you fail them repeatedly, money will slip through your fingers no matter how much you earn. As genius changed the world, but his lack of financial strategy often kept his dreams chained. Imagine what more he could have achieved if his emotional relationship with money had been guided by structure. The truth is, money is like a river. It needs banks to guide its flow. Without structure, it floods and destroys. With structure, it nourishes and builds. Mastering financial emotions means refusing to spend to impress, refusing to invest out of fear, and refusing to let envy dictate your financial choices. This control is not about being cold, it's about being conscious. When you remove emotional turbulence from your finances, you gain the freedom to focus on what truly matters. Money stops being a source of stress and becomes a tool for impact. You no longer chase every shiny opportunity, you choose the ones aligned with your vision. You no longer panic during hard times, you adapt with clarity. This shift is not easy, but it is life-changing. Emotional mastery over money is like emotional mastery over life. When you stop being controlled by feelings, you start being guided by purpose. And when purpose controls your money, it will always grow in ways that serve you, not enslave you. Number 7, spend with purpose, not impulse. Every coin you spend is a vote for the life you are building. If your spending is guided by impulse, you are casting votes for a future you have not planned. Purposeful spending, on the other hand, is intentional. It aligns every purchase with your values, goals, and vision. The world's greatest missions, from space exploration to medical breakthroughs, operate with budgets where every unit of currency is assigned to a purpose. No successful mission leaves spending to chance. Your life is no different. If you want to reach a destination, your financial map must be drawn with precision. Impulse spending is seductive because it promises immediate satisfaction. It's the comfort of buying something you don't need just to soothe a feeling in the moment. But like sugar to the body, it feels good now and costs you later. Nikola Tesla's vision for wireless energy was revolutionary, but he struggled to keep it funded because his money often flowed without long-term direction. Purposeful spending requires saying no not to enjoyment but to distractions that steal from your bigger dream. When you stop buying to escape emotions, you start buying to empower your future. Purposeful spending is also about clarity. Before you spend, ask yourself, will this bring me closer to my mission, or is it just feeding my mood? This is the same discipline scientists use when deciding where to allocate research funds. They focus resources on what will move them closer to discovery. If they waste funding, the mission stalls. If you waste your resources, your goals stall, and the cost is not just financial, it's the delay of the life you are meant to live. Every dollar spent on purpose is a step toward freedom. Every dollar spent without thought is a step toward change. There is also joy in purposeful spending because it turns money into a tool for meaning. Imagine the difference between buying something that fades in a week and investing in something that serves you for years. The first satisfies desire, the second serves destiny. When you look at money this way, every transaction becomes a conscious act of creation. You are not just a consumer, you are an architect. And when architects design with purpose, the structures they build last for generations. Spend with that kind of vision, and your life will stand as a testament to discipline, clarity, and intentional living. Number 8. Save like a scientist prepares for experiments. In science, no great breakthrough is achieved without preparation. A scientist does not rely on luck, they rely on readiness. Galileo did not bet everything on one experiment. He repeated tests, gathered data, and ensured that each trial built upon the last. Your financial life should work the same way. Savings are your preparation. They are the safety net that allows you to take risks without fear of collapse. Without savings, you live in constant vulnerability. With them, you live with the confidence to explore, create, and innovate. Saving is not about hoarding. It is about building the foundation for future progress. Preparation is not glamorous, and that is why so many people ignore it. The same way lab work requires hours of unseen effort, savings require consistent, often invisible discipline. It is easy to be motivated when you see results immediately, but saving is the opposite. You store value today to empower tomorrow. Scientists know that the experiment that changes the world often comes after dozens of quiet, unnoticed trials. In the same way, the financial breakthrough that changes your life often comes after years of quiet, consistent saving. Every small deposit is a trial run toward your future success. Saving like a scientist also means calculating your risks. No wise researcher enters the lab without safety measures. You too must plan for financial setbacks, illness, emergencies, or sudden opportunities that require capital. Savings give you the stability to face these moments without panic. When Galileo studied the heavens, he knew storms would come, but he built systems to protect his instruments. Likewise, you must protect your financial life with a system that ensures you are ready for both storms and clear skies. This readiness is the mark of someone who understands the value of preparation. Most importantly, saving teaches patience, and patience strengthens character. It reminds you that real progress takes time, that instant gratification is often the enemy of lasting achievement. When you save consistently, you are telling yourself, I believe in a future worth investing in. And that belief shapes your mindset toward growth. Scientists do not stop after one failed test. They trust the process. You must do the same with your savings, because one day when an opportunity arises that could change everything, you will be ready, not because you got lucky, but because you prepared like a master of your craft. Number 9, invest in growth, not glitter. The true purpose of money is not to show the world what you have. It is to build the life you want. Many people spend years chasing glitter, the latest gadgets, the fleshiest cars, the clothes that impress strangers for a moment. But glitter fades while growth compounds. The world's greatest innovators understood this. Ada Lovelace invested her time and resources into learning mathematics, not into luxuries that would have vanished in weeks. Elon Musk reinvested the profit from his early ventures into building companies that would shape the future. Both understood that investing in growth creates value that lasts long after the shine of glitter is gone. When you invest in growth, you choose the seeds that will multiply over time. This could mean developing new skills, starting a business, funding education, or supporting ideas that align with your mission. Glitter gives you a moment of pleasure. Growth gives you a lifetime of empowerment. The key is vision, knowing where you want to be years from now and directing your resources toward that destination. Without vision, even large sums of money can be wasted. With vision, even small investments can transform your life. Investing in growth also requires resisting comparison. When you see others flaunting their glitter, it is tempting to feel you must match them. But remember, what they show may not reflect what they truly have. Many people decorate a crumbling house. Few invest in strengthening the foundation. Your growth is your foundation. Like a tree, it may take years before the fruit appears, but when it does, it feeds generations. Do not exchange the roots of your success for the leaves of someone else's approval. Finally, investing in growth changes not just your bank account, but your identity. You begin to see yourself as a builder, not just a spender, as a creator of value, not just a consumer of it. Every skill you learn, every book you read, every wise investment you make shapes the person you are becoming. Glitter may turn heads, but growth turns dreams into reality. And when your life is built on growth, even if the glitter fades, your legacy will shine brighter than anything money could buy. Number 10, guard your mind from noise. The mind is like a garden. Whatever you allow in will eventually grow. If you let in weeds, do not be surprised when they overtake the flowers. In our time, the greatest threat to the mind is not ignorance, but noise. Noise comes from everywhere. Social media, gossip, unnecessary drama, and endless streams of unfiltered opinions. Like light pollution that hides the stars from our view, mental noise blocks us from seeing our own clarity. The most brilliant ideas in history were born in moments of stillness, not in the chaos of distraction. Guarding your mind means building a fence strong enough to keep the weeds out and the flowers protected. Scientists know that to observe the universe clearly, telescopes must be placed far away from the interference of city lights. In the same way, you must sometimes remove yourself from the constant glow of the world's chatter to see your inner truth. Nikola Tesla would work in isolation for hours, even days, so his ideas could mature without outside interference. Guarding your mind is not isolation from people, it is isolation from distractions that weaken your focus. Without that, your mental energy is scattered in 1,000 directions, leaving nothing for what truly matters. The danger of noise is that it often disguises itself as urgency. Every notification seems important, every headline seems critical, every argument demands a response, but most of it has no real bearing on your purpose. If you allow noise to dictate your attention, you will live in a constant state of reaction instead of creation. A guarded mind chooses what to let in, just as a wise researcher chooses only relevant data for their work. The strength of your mind depends on the quality of what you feed it, and noise is mental junk food. Adding, your mind is also about protecting your inner peace. You cannot think clearly in a storm, whether that storm is outside or inside you. This is why meditation, reflection, and intentional silence are so powerful. They clear the clouds so the sun can shine through. When you master this, you no longer chase every distraction. Instead, you become anchored in your purpose. And when the world is shouting, you will not lose your voice in the crowd, because your mind will be calm, focused, and unshakable. That is the kind of mind that not only survives in a noisy world, but rises above it. Number 11, feed your mind the right data. Your mind is a living system. It becomes what you feed it, just as the body cannot thrive on empty calories. The mind cannot thrive on empty information. Every book you read, every conversation you engage in, every piece of content you consume becomes part of your inner world. This is why great thinkers are careful about their intellectual diet. They do not leave it to chance. A mind fed with truth, wisdom, and curiosity will grow stronger each day. A mind fed with gossip, negativity, and shallow distractions will slowly weaken. What you put in today will shape what comes out tomorrow. In the world of science, researchers know that bad data leads to bad conclusions. A single corrupted input can compromise the entire experiment. Your mind works the same way. If you feed it false or harmful information, your thoughts, beliefs, and actions will reflect that contamination. Marie Curie filled her mind with study and discipline, not with the noise of those who doubted her. Her results were not magic. They were the product of years of feeding her mind with knowledge that strengthened her vision. If you want clarity in life, you must give your mind clarity in input. Feeding your mind the right data is also about variety and depth. If you only consume the same type of information, you limit your perspective. The greatest innovators connect dots between different fields because they nourish their minds with diverse knowledge. Leonardo da Vinci, I studied anatomy, engineering, art, and nature. His genius was not in one subject, but in the connections between them. The more quality input you give your mind, the more creative, flexible, and resilient it becomes. This is mental cross-training. And remember, it is not only about what you consume, it is about what you avoid. Junk information like junk food can feel satisfying for a moment, but leave you drained in the long run. Mindless scrolling, toxic debates, and sensational headlines may stimulate your emotions, but they do not nourish your intellect. When you intentionally choose high-quality data for your mind, you take control of your mental environment. You become the curator of your own inner library, filling it with resources that inspire, guide, and strengthen you. In time, your thoughts will rise to the level of the information you feed them, and so will your life. Number 12, train your mind daily. A strong mind is not a gift, it is a discipline. Just as muscles weaken without exercise, the mind loses sharpness without regular training. The great minds of history did not wait for inspiration to strike. They practiced mental discipline daily. Albert Einstein trained his mind through problem solving and imagination, turning abstract ideas into revolutionary concepts. He once said, "Intellectual growth should commence at birth and cease only at death." This is the essence of mental training. It's a lifelong commitment, not a once in our effort. You cannot expect mental clarity if you are not willing to put in the daily work to strengthen it. Painting the mind begins with focus. In our modern age, distractions pull at us from every direction. Notifications, noise, and endless demands on our attention. To train your mind, you must learn to bring it back to a single point of concentration. Meditation is one of the oldest and most effective tools for this. Even a few minutes of daily silence can sharpen awareness and build mental resilience. The scientists and philosophers who shaped our world understood the value of deep focus. They knew that a scattered mind could never uncover deep truth. Another powerful method is deliberate learning. Choose one skill, subject, or challenge and commit to practicing it every day. This doesn't just expand your knowledge, it rewires your brain for adaptability and problem solving. Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to form new connections, is strengthened through consistent effort. Marie Curie didn't become a Nobel Prize winner overnight. Her breakthroughs were the result of thousands of hours of focus, study, and experimentation. Your mind too will evolve if you feed it challenges and push it beyond comfort. Mental training also requires reflection. At the end of each day, ask yourself, what did I learn? Where did I fail? How can I improve tomorrow? This habit keeps your mind active and engaged in self-correction. Without reflection, even the most intelligent person can become stagnant. Leonardo da Vinci filled countless notebooks with ideas, questions, and sketches. Not because he was bored, but because his mind was constantly rehearsing, analyzing, and evolving. Your journal can be your training ground for deeper thinking. In time, daily mental training will give you an unshakable advantage. While others are thrown off balance by life's challenges, your mind will remain steady, creative, and resourceful. Just as a martial artist trains the body for combat, you will train the mind for life's battles. This discipline will not just help you achieve success, it will shape who you are at the deepest level. When your mind becomes strong, every other part of your life follows, and that is the power of daily training. It turns potential into mastery and mastery into a legacy. Number 13. Align mouths, mood, money, and mind. Let's imagine for a moment that your life is a grand instrument capable of producing the most harmonious music. But like any instrument, it only plays beautifully when all its strings are tuned. In your life, those strings are your mouth, your mood, your money, and your mind. When these four are out of tune, even the most beautiful potential sounds chaotic, unfocused, and unpleasant. But when you align them, you become like a well-calibrated machine, or more precisely like a master musician, where every action, thought, and word creates a symphony that inspires not only you, but everyone around you. In martial arts, we say that when the body, breath, and mind are in alignment, the strike becomes effortless yet powerful. The same is true here. Align your speech, your emotions, your resources, and your thoughts, and you will find yourself moving through life with an elegance and precision that others can only admire. Your mouth is the tool through which your internal state becomes external reality. A careless word can create years of regret, just as a carefully chosen word can open doors you never imagined. Your mood, however, is the emotional current that fuels or hinders the energy behind those words. If your mood is chaotic, your speech will be chaotic. If your mood is calm, your words will carry wisdom and authority. Your money, on the other hand, is not just currency. It is thought energy representing the value you have created and the opportunities you can embrace. And finally, your mind is the command center. It is the one that decides what you say, how you feel, how you handle your resources, and ultimately how you live. When these four forces are in harmony, there is no hesitation in your actions, no confusion in your decisions, and no wasted motion in your journey. Think of it as the alignment of planets. Astronomers tell us that when certain planets align, gravitational forces amplify, creating rare and powerful phenomena. In the same way, when your mouth, mood, money, and mind align, the gravitational pull of your life becomes so strong that opportunities are drawn to you, people are influenced by you, and the path ahead becomes clear. Albert Einstein did not just rely on his intellect. He spoke in ways that inspired, maintained a calm demeanor even under criticism, managed the resources he had carefully, and directed his mind toward a singular vision. That is alignment in action. It is no accident that those who achieve great things are rarely scattered in these four areas. They are deliberate, balanced, and deeply self-aware. But here is the truth. Alignment is not achieved once and kept forever. It is a discipline, a daily practice. Just like an instrument needs regular tuning, you must regularly check your words. Are they building or breaking? You must observe your mood. Are you calm or reactive? You must track your money. Are you controlling it or is it controlling you? And you must discipline your mind. Are you feeding it thoughts of strength or weakness? The more consistently you practice this alignment, the more effortlessly your life will flow. You will stop feeling like you are pushing against the current and start moving with it, carried by a momentum you have consciously created. This is when you truly become unstoppable, not because you are forcing your way forward, but because you are moving in perfect harmony with yourself. When the mouth speaks truth, the mood stays steady, the money is guided with wisdom, and the mind remains disciplined, something extraordinary happens. You become like a well-calibrated machine, efficient, focused, and unstoppable. The same way, a telescope must be perfectly aligned to see deep into the universe. Your life too must be aligned to see clearly into your purpose. One wrong angle and your vision blurs. But when alignment is achieved, there is no wasted movement, no scattered energy. Every step you take is deliberate, every decision intentional, and every action harmonized with your deepest goals. This is not alignment by accident. Just as a scientist spends months fine-tuning instruments to detect the faintest signals from space, you must fine-tune yourself daily. Aligning your mouth means your words carry the weight of intention. Aligning your mood means you choose peace even in storms. Aligning your money means you invest, not just spend. Aligning your mind means you keep your focus locked on the path ahead. And when all four work in unison, life stops feeling like a constant struggle and starts moving like a smooth current that carries you toward where you were meant to be. But alignment is not the end. Alignment is the doorway. Beyond it lies something far greater. The realization that when you master these four, you unlock the next stage of life, self-command. And this is where we arrive at the most powerful truth. Enough 13 is not about control for the sake of control. It is about realizing that control is freedom. We live in a time where many think freedom is the ability to do anything, say anything, feel anything, spend anything. But true freedom is not living at the mercy of impulses. True freedom is the ability to guide yourself exactly where you want to go. Just as science guides raw energy into usable power, uncontrolled energy can destroy, but focused energy lights cities, powers machines, and sends rockets to the stars. The same principle applies to you. Without control, your words can burn bridges, your moods can derail progress, your money can slip away, and your mind can scatter into 1,000 directions. But with control, you channel all of it into a concentrated force that moves mountains. That is the moment your life stops being a reaction to circumstances and starts becoming a creation of your own design. That is when you are no longer a passenger, you are the captain. When the mouth, mood, money, and mind are in harmony, your life moves like a well-calibrated machine. Each part knows its role, each part supports the others. The mouth speaks with kindness and intention, not recklessness. The mood responds with steadiness instead of storms, money flows with discipline instead of chaos, and the mind remains clear like still water. Imagine the precision of a NASA, a space launch. Hundreds of systems align so that a single rocket can pierce the heaven. In the same way, when you align these four forces, you are not wasting fuel, you are moving directly toward your purpose. But alignment is not something that happens by accident. A scientist does not stumble upon a breakthrough by letting random chemicals mix in a beaker. They measure, they observe, they adjust. You must do the same with your life. Notice what you say, how you feel, where your money goes, and what you allow to live in your mind. This is not about perfection, it is about direction. The more these four work in unity, the less resistance you feel and the more momentum you gain like a finely tuned violin. You begin to produce music instead of noise. Yet alignment alone is not the ultimate goal. It is preparation for something greater. Think of the great rivers that run through this earth. They do not simply flow. They are guided by the shape of the land, the pull of gravity, the channels carved over time. In the same way, your aligned mouth, mood, money, and mind must be guided toward a destination. Without control, even a perfectly aligned system will drift aimlessly, carried away by the currents of circumstance. Alignment gives you strength, control gives you direction, and here we arrive at the truth. Control is not limitation. Control is freedom, a beam of light. Uncontrolled is scattered in all directions. But focus that light into a laser and it can cut through steel. Your energy works the same way. Without control, you are like sunlight spilling across a field, warm but unable to move mountains. With control, you are the laser. You are precise. You are unstoppable. This is why true freedom is not doing whatever you feel in the moment. That kind of freedom is an illusion, like a kite believing it is free because it floats in the wind until the wind changes. Real freedom is having the strength to guide yourself exactly where you choose to go, no matter the wind, no matter the weather. Science teaches us that raw energy is nothing without containment. Nuclear power, electricity, even the breath in your lungs all become powerful only when controlled. When you control your mouth, you are free from regret. When you control your mood, you are free from manipulation. When you control your money, you are free from financial chains. When you control your mind, you are free from fear. And when all four are in your command, you are no longer a passenger in life. You are the pilot. You do not just survive the journey. You chart the course. So understand, alignment is the road, but control is the steering wheel. Alignment makes you strong, but control makes you sovereign. The mountain you climb is not conquered when you reach the top. It is conquered when you choose the path. When each step is deliberate, when every move is within your will. This is the highest freedom. The ability to live not by accident, but by design. Number 14. Control is freedom. Freedom. Most people misunderstand this word. They think freedom means doing whatever they want, whenever they want. But that is not freedom. That is chaos disguised as liberty. True freedom is having the strength, the discipline, and the awareness to guide yourself toward where you truly want to go. Even when distractions pull at you from every direction, it is not about removing limits. It is about choosing the limits that protect your highest purpose. A river without banks becomes a swamp, stagnant and directionless. But when that same river has boundaries, its water flows powerfully toward the sea. In the same way, self-control does not trap you. It channels your energy so you can reach your destination faster, stronger, and with greater purpose. Science teaches us this truth clearly. Raw energy on its own can be dangerous, unpredictable, and destructive. Think of electricity. It is powerful but uncontrolled. It can burn, shock, or kill. Yet, when guided through wires, transformers, and circuits, that same energy becomes light to brighten a city, power to heal in hospitals, and force to drive entire nations forward. The energy did not change, the control did. In your life, your emotions, thoughts, and actions are raw energy. Without discipline, they scatter, leaving you tired but unaccomplished. With discipline, they transform into usable power. That is why control is not the enemy of freedom. It is the very key that unlocks it. Without it, your potential remains raw and wasted. With it, you become a force that shapes your reality. History shows us countless examples of this principle. Consider the astronauts who walked on the moon. They did not get there by following every whim. Their journey was possible because every calculation, every step, every action was controlled with precision. Even the smallest mistake in trajectory could have left them lost in the emptiness of space. The same applies to your life. Your dreams are like that distant moon, and the path to them is delicate. You cannot arrive there by drifting. You arrive there by having the strength to direct yourself to keep your words, mood, money, and mind aligned with your chosen goal, no matter how tempting the detours along the way. This is not a limitation, it is the art of living with purpose, but control is not built overnight. It is a muscle that grows with use. Each time you resist the urge to react impulsively, you strengthen it. Each time you choose the long-term benefit over the short, term pleasure, you strengthen it. And as your control grows, your freedom expands because now you can trust yourself. You no longer fear being swayed by emotions or misled by impulses. You can face life's storms without being thrown off course. This is the kind of freedom that cannot be taken from you because it lives inside you. The world may try to provoke you, tempt you, or push you off balance. But when you have mastered control, you hold the steering wheel of your life firmly in your hands. And in that moment, you will understand the greatest liberty is the power to guide yourself exactly where you are meant to be. My friend, if you wish to walk through life without being carried away by every wind, learn to guard 4 gates. Your mouth, your mood, your money, and your mind. Guard your mouth because every word you release is a seed. Once planted, it will grow into peace or into poison. Before you speak, let your words pass through 3 gates. Is it true? Is it necessary? Is it kind? You will save yourself and others from wounds that take years to heal. Guard your mood because storms will always come, but you decide if they will live in you. Emotions are like waves. You cannot stop them from arriving, but you can choose which ones you ride. When anger rises, breathe before you act. When sadness comes, sit with it, but do not build your home there. Guard your money because it is not only currency. It is your stored time, your stored energy, your stored life. Spend it with purpose, invest it with wisdom. Let it serve your future, not steal from it. Remember, riches without discipline become burdens, but discipline with even little money becomes wealth. Guard your mind because it is the root from which every other part of your life grows. Do not feed it with the weeds of gossip, fear, and doubt. Water it with learning, gratitude, and vision. Whatever you hold in your mind consistently will shape your reality. If you lose control of any one of these 4, your mouth, mood, money, or mind, the others will follow into chaos. But when you master them, they move in harmony like 4 strings of an instrument, playing the music of your highest life. So I give you this advice: speak less but speak truth. Feel deeply but respond wisely, earn honestly, spend mindfully. Think clearly and dream boldly. And now a prayer for you. May your words be bridges, not weapons. May your emotions be rivers that nourish, not floods that destroy. May your wealth be a tool for freedom, not chains that bind you. May your mind be a garden where only seeds of wisdom and peace grow. May your mouth speak only what heals. May your mood be the calm after every storm. May your money flow where it builds your future. May your mind remain a sanctuary no shadow can enter. Walk gently, speak wisely, live freely, and let the music of your life be played on the 4 strings you now hold in your hands. Peace be with you. When your mouth, mood, money, and mind obey the same truth, you no longer chase life. Life walks beside you, and may you every single day wake with the courage to guide your mouth, mood, money, and mind, so that your life becomes a living lesson for those who walk after you. Remember, the one who controls themselves is never controlled by the world, and in that mastery, you will find a freedom that no man can give you and no man can take.